Hey everyone, this is your June 2026 webinar. This is a business webinar. It's not intended to be shared with your customers. This is just for you, the rep agency. We're going to cover a lot of different things. We're going to talk about what's going on at Craftmade, new products, new catalog, the websites, the whole thing. Talking about some exciting things that are coming up. So should take about 30, maybe 40 minutes. I hope you enjoy what you see and what we talk about here. And the new product video will be coming by the end of the week. So this first part, we're going to talk about how Craftmade's doing. You know, it's been a challenging 6 months, I got to say. You know, we've had, sales have been down, so it's been slow across the country, you know, especially in the big territories. We hadn't seen that before. So, you know, we're hoping things will turn around. Interest rates still haven't gotten where we wanted them to be. We thought they were going to get better. You know, we've seen different problems with factories shipping a little bit slower. We've had a major problem with one of our key factories. I'll get into that here in just a few minutes. You know, that's been some added pressure that's caused us some problems. So, but with all of that being said, you know, one of the things that the team has worked really hard and Eric has really pushed us on is to manage expenses and to be careful, you know, how we go through and spend money on different things, whether it's travel or whatever it might be. And through those smart cuts and being smart about how we do our business, we remained profitable, which is really, really great. So like you and me and the rest of the team, we all want to see this thing turn around and get better. And part of that was the new introductions that we did in January and some new stuff that you're going to see coming in June. So hopefully through this video, I'm going to have some products in the background that you've never seen before. Hopefully get you interested in the new product video coming up at the end of the week and get you, you know, fired up for, you know, a very slow June. I get it, but you're going to have the opportunity to get out there and work with your customers and sell and have a new catalog and, you know, a refreshed website. So it's really exciting time to be with Craftmade with all the new things coming in, and I'll get into that a little bit further in the video. So, you know, overall, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you that it's been great, because it hasn't. It's been very challenging, and I appreciate you guys. You guys have been working really hard, and it makes a difference. And so keep getting out there and keep working hard, and let's find business where we haven't found it before, whether if you're going after job business that you've never gone after before, or, you know, getting in with some of your showrooms, legacy showrooms that need a refresh and need to get some new products in. This new product release that we did in January was well received. It's all starting to flow in and starting to ship. It's already started earlier this month, and we got another wave of products hitting us starting this weekend. So again, it's a good, exciting time to be with Craftmade. It has been slow. We are definitely looking for a turnaround and to get some momentum going. So one of those challenges that we had this year that I was talking about was a factory called National States. So for you guys that have been legacy Craftmade guys for a very long time, National States was the original outdoor lighting factory when Craftmade got into outdoor lighting. So this goes back, oh man, at least 20 years now. And they've kind of been the staple for Craftmade for a very, very, very long time in outdoor lighting. So, you know, when we introduced the new products in 2025, we kind of did a refresh of the outdoor. That factory was the factory that we leaned on to do that. That's the Harris Collection, Serrano, Rock Creek. There's probably 6 collections that we introduced from them, along with the Z422s and 421 spotlights. So as you guys all were aware, as we got through 2025, they kept delaying. They had moved their factory from mainland China to Vietnam. They were actually one of the factories to do this. Mr. Moon, who's the owner and founder of that factory, actually moved during COVID, got stuck in northern Vietnam, decided to buy land there in northern Vietnam and move the factory. So this factory's actually been in place since 2020, right before COVID is when they broke ground. It was up and running at the end of 2021 going into 2022, and so you would have thought that they were the most stable of all of our factories that moved country. And you know, things happen. They mismanaged themselves, and They were very careful about how they communicated with us, and were not as upfront as they probably should have been with us, and so it caused some problems. So last year, or this spring actually, when we were there, we got a notice from them that they were having financial problems. Probably didn't know if they were going to be able to keep it open, keep it going, so on. We had already felt that pressure coming, and because of that, we had already started to move core items out of that factory to a new factory, which was challenging in itself. So the Z422 and 421s spotlights that you guys were selling tons of and still are selling tons of are now going to become ZA422 and ZA421. You're going to see the new prototypes when you get here in June for the show. We'll have them on the wall. We made a couple of improvements, but basically they look almost identical. The main improvement on the ZA422 is the center lockup. The original one had it around the bracket where it had multiple screws. We tried to line it up with the junction box, get the head straight, and hopefully you got it as straight as you can get it. Sometimes they'd be slightly off or whatever it might be. Now with the improved version, you'll always have the head straight, which is something you guys have been requesting since we brought the product out. The ZA421 basically looks identical, except for it has just a little bit cleaner back plate. So again, we're excited about that. What you're going to see here is a production sample. Orders have already been placed with the new factories. They are already going into production as soon as we approve that sample. So we're out probably another 45 to 60 days before we see those in stock. The good news is we have another container from National States on the Z422 and 421s that's going to hit us here in a few more weeks. We're hoping to bridge the gap. It's something that keeps dropping into back order on a regular basis. So once we get into the new factory, we should eliminate any back orders on that. I know some of you guys have reached out to me and to Carrie and to Doug and said, hey, look, we're going to start losing business. We're going to start moving this. The customers are getting tired because we keep going in and out of stock. Hopefully you can get that business back once the new factory comes on and we have regular inventory in stock, which again should be between 45 and 60 days. And like I said, we have another wave of the original version coming in. Another big product category that factory made for us was doorbells and chimes. So with the new catalog, you've probably already seen it. Carrie talked about it in the newsletter, and we sent over a crossover sheet in that newsletter that talks about moving from CK1000 to CK2000 to CK6000 chimes. And so the 6000 series is the new factory. We've been working with this factory for a while. We've been doing a lot of testing. We are super excited to have it moved to this factory. Along with those doorbell chimes, we're also having to move all of our doorbell buttons. So we've approved all the tooling on the doorbell buttons. Those are being done. Our challenge there was, we actually need a physical sample along with the CAD drawings and that sort of thing. And so now that's all been done. So we'll have a timeline on that very soon for you. I'm hoping by the time you get here from market, we can provide you guys with a worksheet that shows what we have in stock, when the new factory is going to have it ready to go, when it'll be ready, and get back to a smoother basis. As far as the Harris, Serrano, and about 92 other SKUs that factory was making that are on the active list, we've gone through the CAD process. They've received the physical samples. We've already have received our first round of pricing on those, and we are working on that timeline as well. The good news is we have a lot of that stuff in stock. We don't have huge stock levels, but it is in stock. So when the Harris and Serrano and all of that came into inventory, we filled all the back orders on that. That was back in January. And like I said, we still have a good amount of inventory. There's some more of that inventory coming on the next 2 containers. Once those 2 containers are received from National States, that will be the end of business with them, and we will have to move on. So the great news is the 2 factories that we're going to are long-term partners as well, the key partners as well. and we're hoping that this will be a much smoother process. As you guys know, the outdoor category for us is very important. The products that you see behind me came from a new factory. These are all coming into stock this weekend, along with all the other new lighting from this factory. And so these have nothing to do with national states anymore. So we're feeling much better about the category and excited on where it's going. We'll have some new introductions in January, but between the move of the 90 SKUs from that factory, this bigger introduction that we did this past January, along with a couple of others, basically the outdoor category has been reworked, retooled, and hopefully you guys will see that and have to get out there, and we'll have to make some deals and get out with your customers and probably resell the category, get people to believe back in us again, because this has hurt. You know, we've had a lot of people upset with us that we couldn't ship this category. We understand that, we recognize that. It was a staple category for Craftmade for a very long time. So we'll work together on that, and we'll get out there and we'll resell it. So the next subject is our e-commerce business. As you know, we launched a website, it's actually been a while now, called Craftmade Lighting Source. It was intended to be a closeout website. It was a website that, you know, we wanted to get our closeout and DNR items out there at a good price. We've been trying to sell closeout and DNR items through the normal showroom channels with offers, and it seems to be a very long road. You know, we're not the only ones that had that concept or had that idea, and so we felt like it wouldn't be that big of an issue. We, back in January, completely did craftmade.com and went to a new base web service for that. And at the same time, we kind of refreshed everything. Well, when we launched the new Craftmade website, along with Craftmade Lighting Source, we listed it on the website. So I guess it became more visible for the normal lighting showrooms to see that we had a consumer-facing website. Along that same timeline, we also decided, hey, let's go ahead and put our normal stocking products on there, but adhere to our own MAP policies. You know, that no different than Build.com or One Stop Lighting or Lowe's, Home Depot, you name it, any of the other e-commerce platforms that Craftmade is available on, we stuck to our e-commerce rules and how we do business there with the different IMAP levels and discounting and the whole thing. So unfortunately, it didn't go as well as we thought it went. We obviously upset a lot of customers. I've heard from several of you guys that you know, customers were threatening to go away from Craftmade if we're going to have a consumer-facing website. So the compromise is to go back to it being a discontinue-only website and take off normal stocking goods. That process is being done as this video is being recorded, so I would think by end of week, first of next week, that will all be done. So if you don't mind, and I know we're all going to have to go back on customers that were kind of getting angry with us, but please share this information with them that we have rolled it back to just being a discontinued website. Hinckley has one, so does everybody else, so it shouldn't offend anybody, and I can provide you with a spreadsheet of every other manufacturer who does something similar, if that helps your cause with the customers, so that Craftmade is viewed as being somebody that's just following in line with everybody else. But as a reminder, our internet policy is 2.0 on all decorative goods. It's 1.8 on builder goods, and there is no IMAP on accessories and parts and things like that. We do allow for discounting. That's up to the different website to do the discounting as they see fit. They can do it around holidays. They can run it once in a while, whatever the laws in their state require them to follow. They're more than welcome to do that. We do add a little bit deeper discount twice a year during the big holidays at 25%. But other than that, it is a 20% at discretion. And you know, the showrooms are welcome to do that on their own website if they would like as well. So, you know, Again, I apologize for the heartburn. We and the marketing team didn't think that listing our own normal goods on the website would cause the disruption that it has, and so we've listened and we've addressed that. So please do us a favor. Let's get out, let's call those customers and say, hey, look, if you want to go check, as of this weekend, the Craftmade consumer-facing website, Craftmade Lighting Solutions, is now back to just being a closeout website. So I hope that helps. I hope that fixes some of your problems. And if you'd like to discuss that further with me or Eric or any one of the sales team when you get here, let's do that. So 2 more subjects and then we'll get into some fun stuff. I know this has been a little bit of a downer kind of webinar, but I hope what you're seeing in the background is making you happy of what's to come. Let's talk about pricing pressures and what we're seeing there. We received a price increase from all of our factories over the last few months between 6 and 12%. That's been because of material costs, mostly because of material costs. There's been a little currency there, not much, and some labor issues. Especially in the other countries, it's still not as cheap as being in mainland China. So, we've kind of got to deal with all of that together. Yes, some of the tariffs were rolled back. We've all seen that on the news. But the problem with that is when you've got a price increase that's between 6 and 12%, and now the government is talking about a child labor tariff coming in at around 12%. That's going to go into deliberation over the next 30 days, and then we'll go into law. Maybe, maybe not. We'll have to see. That's a pretty big chunk. That's a big increase again. So we've been able to hold the pricing. As a group, we decided that, let's just stay steady and leave things alone. So we've absorbed some of that increase, especially at that core level with the factories. It's always unpleasant when the first cost goes up between 6 and 12%. That has a big impact down the line. But we've decided to be stable, be still. Let's see how things go as we get further on into the summertime. But with that said, there was a few items. The new master price sheet is now loaded on ECAT as of today. We'll email that master price sheet out to you guys. The big thing there is all of the new things that you've been seeing in the background as I've been walking around are in that price sheet. There's a few exceptions though that the price went up on a few items. The SMA 39, which is a new super heavy duty slope adapter, that price went up. That was a miscalculation on our part on the original price sheet, so we had to make a slight adjustment there. The ZA 8000 series outdoor needed price correction there too. There was miscalculation in cube, so we fixed that. And then some P model fans have also gone up a little bit with the migration to northern Vietnam. We had to make a slight adjustment there. So you'll see that in the price sheet that's coming up. But one of the things that I've been getting some feedback from you guys is with the Supreme Court ruling that those original IEEPA tariffs were unlawful and the rollback of some of that, how is that going to impact us? Well, I think I kind of answered that question for you. With the first cost going up due to material costs and with the proposed new tariffs, it's basically a wash. So if any of your customers are going to ask you about that, you want to have further discussions with me about that and how to handle that and talk about that, I'll be happy to do that. At this time, we don't feel like there's any rollback in pricing coming anytime soon. So, I don't expect it from our competitors. If it happens, I'd love for you guys to let me know. I'd like to know how they're doing it and figure out how they're doing it, because by our calculation, it just doesn't make sense. So again, be looking for that new consolidated price sheet. And with the new consolidated price sheet also, we've issued a new discontinued list. There's a few items that have been added to that. A lot of things have been reduced again in price. And as a reminder, anything on that discontinued list or closeout list pays a 10% commission. So, really take a look at that if you're trying to pick up some sales, pick up some extra dollars. That's a great place to go find some good value items to sell and help your monthly commissions. All right, so let's talk about some fun stuff. So as you guys all know, the new catalog is out. We have shipped catalogs for the last few weeks to you guys. Karen and the team sent you an email asking for your help in that. We reviewed all of your accounts, customers, and recommendations on what we ship to which customers. I appreciate you guys working on that. A lot of you guys followed those instructions, helped us out, made sure that we shipped as you guys requested, what you needed, and where you needed to go. For the most part, that went really well. There was a few exceptions to that, and I'll speak with you guys that I need to at the market about that. So we'll review when I see you. But the new catalog is really, really nice. The images look really good. The location shots look really good. The inspiration shots are great. The information there is very good. As always, when you do a new catalog, there's always a couple of things that go awry. The original O'Neill collection, when we first got it in, had seated glass in it. As you know, and as we showed it here at market in January, it has clear glass. So that's a bit of an issue. So we need to make sure your customers understand it comes with clear glass, not with seated glass. Also, the Foxwood lighting collection, some of the chandeliers were left in the catalog, even though they're not going forward. Only the vanity bars were going forward in that collection. So we apologize, it got left in. And then there's a few other technical issues in the back of the catalog that aren't necessarily correct. So we'll publish you a list of corrections. It's not very long, it's just a few minor things. But we need to make sure that everybody's aware of that and expectations when they get the fixtures are correct. With that, all of the January lighting is starting to trickle in along with the January fans. The lighting, the outdoor big collection that I was just standing next to a little while ago is starting to roll in this week. It will start shipping next week, along with the other lighting collections from that factory. And that's that big woven round pendant came from that factory. The pleated collection also came from that factory, along with a couple of others that were very well received. So between now and getting into mid-July, we will be receiving all of those goods in. So between that and the new catalog, you should have some good momentum here right after the show, getting out in the field. You know, again, work with your customers. Let's get those displays out there. Let's get them up. Let's get it going. That'll definitely help drive some sales, get some momentum going for you guys and for Craftmade. We're also happy to introduce a new factory. As I've been walking around here, everything that you've been seeing in the background, with the exception of that outdoor collection, is from a new factory. This factory makes for some of our biggest competitors. We're excited to work out a deal with them, leaning on them for better quality, next level of quality, I would say, good design. I think you'll be very pleased. We're very pleased. Philip and I and the team have worked very hard. I've visited with them now on multiple trips over the last year and a half, and getting this going has been really exciting. There are also going to be a second wave of lighting coming for the January show that goes along with this first wave that will completely retool and change the direction of Craftmade lighting. We're very excited about that. Lighting is a very important category for us, and we're going to put a lot of pressure and a lot of emphasis on that category over the next 6 months as we move forward here and these products come into stock. So we're excited to get your feedback when you get here and look at it in person. Obviously, the product webinar that I'm going to do for you guys will be coming up very, very soon. By the end of the week is my goal. We're going to have that out to you. Okay, so we introduced the new 2-wire control system on a number of different fans, DC motor fans with light kits, and everybody loved it. It seems to be like resonating. The more we talk to people about it, the more we train people about it. It solves so many problems. It eliminates the battery issue. It eliminates the programming issue. You get full functionality of the fan, especially DC controls. The single gang box, which is huge for multifamily houses with, a bunch of, especially older houses where they only have the single gang box, not a dual gang box. So this demo set up here for you guys in the showroom will be functioning when you get here. This is the new DeMarco fan, by the way. I'll talk about it in the product walkthrough. It's a new flush mount fan for us, DC motor, low voltage light kit. But as we have it set up here, you have the 3-wire controller on one side, and then you have the standard 3-way on and off on the other side. You can come in here, you can function it. It really works great. We're super excited about it. That's going to roll out in this new Charming fan, in the DeMarco fan, and in the new Charming 62-inch. It'll start there, and because we already have all the other fans in production or coming into stock with the original switch, as we run through those inventories, the next production run will have the 3-way switch. We'll give you information on that as we start rolling through those. But because this has taken some time for us to develop, literally we started testing that here in the showroom in the last week or so. Philip has spent countless nights, I can't imagine how many nights already, working with the factories to get this right. So we're very excited about it. I wanted to at least show it to you when you're here at the show. When we do it during the walkthrough, I'll show you the functionality. It works really good. It just doesn't translate very good on the video for me to jump back and forth. So we'll show that to you. Super excited about it. Okay, so some more additions from the last show. With the conversion of the ECF, the P conversion, getting everybody to switch over, one of the challenges was customers were telling us they need a 60-inch version. You know, we have the S series in the Pro, then you have the Pro series 52-inch, and all those lighting configurations that go on those fans. So what we decided to do on the ECF 60 is to stock the 60-inch fan without the light kit, and then offer a series of light kits that allow you to have all those combinations that you need. Over my shoulder here is the 4-light kit. That's a little bit larger than your standard 4-light kit that you see on the 52-inch fans. The reason we did that, obviously the 60-inch fan, it looks better with a little bit larger light kit. From there, we added 2 bowls. So we're showing one of the clear bowls here. We'll have one of the white bowls on display so that you can see that. So you'll have white and clear in the bowls, and then you'll have the 4-light kit. Between those 3 light kits, the different color combinations on the ECF 60, you'll be able to make most of the configurations that seem to sell very well in the S series fans. Also, we added a McCoy 60-inch fan. The McCoy 60-inch fan is going to be a DC motor fan. It looks just like the 52-inch, except for obviously 62 inches. So you go from an AC motor to a DC motor with an integrated LED low voltage light kit. The great thing about it is we included the 2-wire control on that ECF. So if you're doing multifamily projects, it's super great for that. We sell a ton of the 52-inch McCoy fans with the CM7. Some of the requests when we were developing the 60-inch fan was, hey, it'd be great if we could have that 2-wire control on that, and the way we did that was go ahead and upgrade it to a 60-inch to get more performance, better RPMs, and more airflow. So this is the Charming collection. We introduced this collection back in January in a 52-inch satin brass with white blades. Immediately at the show, everybody was like, man, that is such a great looking design. Really goes after the roto. The price point is there, DC motor, light kit. And on top of all of that, we have the 2-wire functionality, which changes the game. You know, you don't have to worry about the remote controls, the battery, the programming, all of that sort of thing. But we kept getting requests for a 60-inch version. So a lot of people are using that competitor's fan. They put it in the bedrooms, and they need that 60-inch fan for the bigger rooms, the larger rooms. And so we did that. Also during the show, we went ahead and ordered right away, as you can see behind me, the flat black 52-inch and the white 52-inch. The now 60-inch version is already on order, should be in the next few months, in white and in flat black. And we're also going to show it in the showroom in the satin brass and white. Again, this fan is a light kit optional fan. So the light kit is sold separately. So if you're really looking for that great price point, just get with Doug, get it quoted for you guys. We've got customers that are asking for quotes on this fan by the pallets. So this is a key fan that you really need to focus on, really get it into your showrooms and get it on display. One of the great things about it, again, is it has the 2-wire control system, which is, again, the game changer. It comes in the box. All that great functionality. If you're putting it on patios, remember that they're daisy chained together. If you're putting 3 of them out there with a light kit, you just need one control. It'll function all 3 of them. If you've got 5 out there without a light kit, it'll function all 5. So it's a great seller. Like I said, it's highly competitive. So make sure you're getting with Doug in the quotes department if you've got somebody that is selling that competitor's product and would like to convert to Craftmade. I would really make a strong push for that. Another quick little update on fans as we finish up this category, and we'll talk about it a little bit more in the webinar, and I'll get into more detail on this one on the webinar, is the EPHA versus the now E-McCoy. So we now have an Energy Star PHA fan, and now we have an Energy Star McCoy fan. That's got the 2-wire. I kind of talked about that just a second ago. But what I wanted to point out is between the EPHA and the McCoy fan, there's a $20 advantage with the McCoy fan. The price is super competitive. If Energy Star is still important to your customers or to a job quote that you're doing, keep that McCoy fan in mind. It's really, really, really at a great price point. Okay, so a few more housekeeping things for you guys. I just want to cover commissions real quickly in the show special. And by the way, this is the Council collection. You guys have been doing very well with this collection in the white glass. We now have a clear glass option. The glass has this really nice ribbing in it. Super great in person. You're going to love it. But just as a reminder, mirrors are at 12% at DN. So you get a 12% commission anytime you sell a mirror at DN and 8% on quotes. It's our highest paying commission category. And when you get here, you'll see we've got several new ones that we're going to show you guys. Very excited about. There will be more of a fall introduction, but they'll really address a few issues from the backlit. As a reminder, ECFs pay an 8% commission at DN, and then 6% commission at VIP and Cornerstone. That's our highest commission rate on a builder grade fan that we have. And you guys have been embracing that. I appreciate it. We're really seeing the sales on the ECF tick up. But as a reminder, if you're still doing the pallet promotion or pallet program, I guess I should say, highly encourage that. It is beneficial for the customer and for Craftmade and for yourself. You're selling more. The customer is getting a better deal. And Craftmade saves on freight when it goes out in a pallet. Those commissions are negotiated between you and the quotes department. Those range between 5 and 3%. All DNR products and closeout products, as a reminder, you get a 10% commission on everything you sell. I talked about that earlier in the video. It's a great way to add to your monthly commission rate and help us move some distressed merchandise. And also, as a reminder, when we changed the commission structure back in January, if you give a discount up to 5% on something that's normally at DN, like a decorative product that pays between 10 and 12%, there's no penalty to your commission. It used to be in the past, if you took any percentage of discount off of those products, it automatically dropped down to 3%. We stopped doing that. So it allows you to give some pricing off, but yet maintain the integrity of the commission. That's very important. And then lastly, this is the Dallas show. You received the market promotion from Carrie already. It's really a nice promotion. I have to put on my glasses because I'm just getting old. But there's 4 levels to this. The highest level is at $16,500 with a 10% discount. There's 4 other levels. The entry level starts at $3,500 at a 4% discount. But I want you to make sure to pay attention to some of the details in there. The promotion runs through July 10th, so we need to make sure those orders are in-house by July 10th. We don't want to let promotions drag out anymore. It seems like we chase them for months. It's frustrating for you, and it's frustrating for us to keep up with. So let's do a good job of making sure we wind those down by July 10th. You can have up to regular stock on this up to 30% of the order. You can get the discount, additional discount. So, you know, promote that as well as customers will come in, whereas you're sitting down working with customers. We do anticipate this being a slower show, so we would expect that there's going to be some work with you guys out in the field, going out and promoting these new products. But just remember, they can put stock on there up to 30% and receive the additional discount. So with all of that, I won't dive too much deeper into that. It's a good promotion. You should have it. I'm going to attach it to this email when this webinar comes out to you. With all of that, I hope you've got some excitement from this. We're really excited. The team has really done a nice job. We've been working hard the last 5 months on new products, developing things that you guys have all requested from us, getting that new catalog out. That was a big effort on the marketing team and Karen and all the product managers. They did a really, really nice job on that thing. We have plenty in stock, so if you need more, just request what you need and we'll get that out to you. As far as all the new products, you know, with the new factory, rework of the outdoor section, I know it kind of fell on our face last year on the outdoor section with the factory going down, but with the new factories coming on, getting that tooling moved, getting the new ZA422s coming in, we really feel like we've reworked outdoor. It's completely different than what it was in the past. Now we're focusing on indoor lighting. As you can see, as I've been walking around with the new factory, the quality of the product, the design is really nice. You're going to be super excited when you see it. I'm excited to do the product review for you guys and get that out for you very soon. And yeah, you know, we've been working hard. I know we've been kind of quiet at Craftmade for the last few months, but there's been a lot going on, and we're ready to show you guys and show your customers what's going on with Craftmade. So we look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks. Again, this video is intended for you, not for your customers. We've talked about several things in here that's not really for them. It's mainly for you. So make sure everybody in your agency sees this video, and I will see you in a couple of weeks.